This software update includes a number of new and exciting lace embroidery design tools, and one of those is the Whitework lace tool. This is a feature that you can use to automatically convert objects like you see on the screen into Whitework lace designs, and we couldn't be more excited about how it functions and how easy it is to use. Lace is generally a very difficult thing to do, and when you're working with larger pieces, like when you're doing something on a towel and there's little open areas, there are certain things that you need to make sure that you do to ensure that there's support for the stitches once you wash away the stabilizer and you have a freestanding portion of a lace design. And so I'm excited to show you the Whitework lace tool, and before I get started, I'm going to show you an example of something that we created utilizing this tool. So I'm bringing this up on the screen. Oh, not that one. I apologize. Here we go. The Whitework lace tool is, as you can see in this example, you have a monogram in the middle, and then you have the four corner pieces that are actually everything in between. The squares is washed away, it's completely freestanding. And you'll notice that with the Whitework lace in this example that the support stitches, or the bridges that go between from one side to another, they cross over each other, but they're also a little bit thicker, and the reason for that is because it's a pretty open area, and those bridges are the only thing that's holding it together. And so it's pretty exciting how this all works, and it's pretty easy to use, so let me go ahead and show you in the software. So you can see that I have one of those shapes here on the screen, and this is just a piece of artwork that is 2 inches by 2 inches, as you can see. And what I want to do is I want to make the Whitework lace out of it, and so what I will do is select it, as you see, and I'm going to come down to the bottom right, and there's this tool next to the artwork tool called Whitework lace, and all I have to do is click this button and it's converting it to Whitework lace. Now, one of the things that you do with this tool is you need to create those bridges, those bridges that go in between these edges. And the tool, once you click it, you'll notice that my little plus symbol on my cursor, there's a little black dot next to it. That means that it's ready for me to put in the bridges. And to do this, I simply go up here and I'll click and drag. This is kind of like adding an angle line to like a satin stitch. You start on one side, click, and drag it to the next side. And do that again, click and drag. So I've created the vertical ones, now I need to create the horizontal. So the thing that's really neat is that what this tool allows you to do both. So I'm going to click and drag across here, create this one. And these are repositionable, so you can see that this isn't quite straight. I can move it if I need to. And I'm going to click a little bit on the other side of this, drag it over here. And so you can see that I have all of these bridges in here, and I'm just kind of playing around with them a little bit. So once I have them set up, I right mouse click, and you can see my cursor change. I'll right mouse click one more time, and it automatically puts those bridges in for me. Now, the really cool thing, I mean, there's a lot that's going on with this tool. So it's doing a number of things in the background that you just kind of have to understand about doing lace, and it's very difficult to learn how to do it. So what I want to do is show you a slow redraw of everything that has taken place so far. So everything that was created. So when I come in here to do the slow redraw, I'm going to back it up a little bit here. I'm going to hit play. You'll notice that it's doing a placement stitch, and that placement stitch, the important thing with it is that's gonna go right onto the fabric, and then you're gonna use that to cut on the inside of the line. So you're gonna cut the fabric out on the inside you'll have water soluble stabilizer underneath. You do not cut through the water soluble stabilizer, and you'll just cut the fabric, and then it's going to do this tack down stitch, which is this red one. And as it's doing that, it's tacking it down before it does the rest of the bridge stitches. So let's go ahead and hit play here, and I'll go a little bit slower. So now it's really kind of grabbing it, tacking it down, making sure that whatever you cut doesn't really come up and from the stitches. And so here we go, we're getting around to it. I'll go a little bit faster now. And now it's doing the bridge stitches. And the interesting thing is the technique that's used. So it's doing these stitches back and forth, and then it's coming over the top and doing another stitch to really lock it in and give it a lot of structure. But at the same time, it is automatically pathing from one object to another. So there is no trims when it's doing these bridges. It's going to run along the edge and go do something else. It's very smart tool. Works incredibly well, and it's super easy. So let me go ahead and hit play, and we'll get through these bridges. So you can see that there's the one bridge, and it pathed around the edge to get to the other bridge. So that's locking it in. Now it's doing a little satin. So I'm just doing a little satin, and now it's going to do the other ones that are going horizontal. And you can see that it's just a very unique, smart tool. And once it gets these bridges done, it's going to focus on the border or the edge. And so it is a little bit different of a stitch. You can see that it's like a satin stitch, but it has open ends on the corners. And this is something that you can, it's by default like this, and you can change that to where it doesn't do an open end. It's just very typical of some whitework lace, vintage whitework lace, and how they created it in the past. So we wanted to include that in this tool. So when I go ahead and hit 3D view, you can see what it looks like. So creating it is really simple. I will just show you again really quick because it is something that's easy to do. Take it off 3D mode. Let me go ahead and just convert this to artwork again. It'll be faster. So I have a piece of artwork. I come down here, I click on the Whitework lace tool. It automatically does the border, and now I just come in here, click and drag. The tool is active, and once I click auto whitework, and then I'm just drawing in these bridges, and I don't have to do vertical and horizontal. It's my choice. Like let's, but you want to have enough structure there, so it's a good idea to do. And when you're done, you right mouse click and it creates it. It's that easy. And I want to show you the example from the image that we used. This is the design that was used to create it. So in this one, we added a little monogram in the middle and took the one object, copied and pasted them 3 times, and rotated and arranged them in this order. And again, the end result is like you see here. So once it's stitched out, and I probably should have lifted the edge so you could see, but this is all cut out. This is holes in the fabric, and it's really easy, really fun. And going back to the software, one of the things that I always like to show is what you have the capability of modifying in it. So you can see that this is one object in your sequence view. So the whitework lace, it's kind of like working with applique, where it encompasses everything inside of one object. So you know, your placement, your tack downs, your like in this case bridge stitches and border stitches. You can change the color of each, you know, by selecting one and changing the color. Like that border, if you want it to be the pink, you just, you know, change it. So pretty easy to do. But if I select the whitework lace, I'm gonna contract that again. You'll see in the properties box that you have a lot of controls here. So whitework lace part, there is a drop down here. We have a cutting area, we have a bridge area, and we have a contour area. And to explain that, the cutting area, what this is like your cut line. So this is working with your placement and tack downs. It's giving you the width and the density. I can change that. I recommend keeping it at the default. If anything, I might make it a little bit wider in the width, and if I take it off of 3D view and we zoom in here, if I make this a 2 and hit apply, you're noticing that it's affecting this underlay, this little cutting area zigzag, and it has a difference with stitch length. Typically the defaults are where you want to be, but if you want to get in and really adjust things, you have the ability. For the bridge, you have the ability to change the width. Right now it's 4.5 millimeters, and it's a 0.8 density. These are the bridge stitches that are in between. So I can change those if I want. If I want this a little bit more dense for the satin, I can make that density a little bit lower, and you'll look at the satins along this edge here and hit apply, and you'll notice that they got closer together. And you also have the ability to adjust the contour, which the contour part is around the edge, so you can change the density, and you can even omit the contour finish. I'll show you what that looks like. You might think, why would I want to do that? Well, if you were having a design that you wanted to come up to the edge, but it was kind of intricate and had a lot of details, but you wanted to use it as the border and not just a flat one, you could omit this satin, and you could, digitize something to go around the edge that maybe had some scrolly stuff in it, and that's the only time you'd really omit that, is if you were going to create your own border around it. But you have the ability to do that, so it's really nice. As always with Total Control U, we really try to give you total control so that you have the ability to modify and manipulate it however you may need to for your design. So hope you enjoy the new Whitework lace feature, and we definitely look forward to seeing what you do with it. So if you create something, please share it with us. Thank you.